My name is Adrian Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So that's why I have this podcast, Become Remarkable, to help you bring you stories and inspirations from all over the world, whether entrepreneurs or not, asking them what their story is and who they are, to share stories and share their inspiration. So today I have with me Paula Hemmings. So please, Paula, tell the world, tell the audience, who are you, what's your story, what do you believe in, and what difference are you making in the world?
Oh, wow, that's quite a few questions. You may have to remind me about some of them. I will start off with who I am. So I'm Paula Hemmings, business and marketing mentor over at the KickAss Entrepreneurs Club, which is an online platform for entrepreneurs who possibly are struggling with marketing, who are quite new to the world of business, who've got an amazing idea, but they don't quite know how to share their business with the world. So I teach marketing, various business strategies to help my target audience to get more clients and more income. What's my story? Is that the next question? Okay, what is my story? I guess I'm someone who always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was someone who was planning businesses since the age of 8. I knew that just going down that normal traditional 9-to-5 route was just not one that I wanted to go down. I was just always passionate about just doing something different, just sort of making my own way in the world. So as you know, during school holidays, I'd plan businesses. I tried to get other people on board with me. I quickly realized that, my passion wasn't always the same as another 8-year-old's passion for opening up a nursery and things like that. And I started my first business at the age of 14, where I tried to set up a recruitment agency, and I actually managed to get one client, which was brilliant, but I couldn't get in the staff. So that business quickly folded and I had to go back to school. But I also done things in school like selling Avon. My mum took out and got an account in her name for me. And I was able to make money by selling Avon, which is a well-known, network marketing company. And then I got wrapped up into the world of employment after leaving school for a few years. So fast forward over to the age of 23 is where I got quite a nice opportunity where I was working in a job that I really didn't like. It was a job that I decided that I wouldn't even last in this job for 6 months because it was so hideous. And 3 years later, I was still at this job, and I got this magical moment when I was offered voluntary redundancy, which was amazing because I still had the passion inside of me to start a business. And I was really nervous. I was really scared because, you're in that comfort zone and you want to have, you want that security of that regular paycheck. But I knew that I needed to be the entrepreneur. And I thought, well, you guys are giving me money to leave now, and I would have left for free. So if you're giving me money to leave, I feel like I should take this opportunity to do this. And I spoke to my mum, and my mum said, Paula, take the money and run. So I left with a few grand behind me, which was great, and started up my first business at the age of 24, which was a cleaning company in London called Dun and Dusted. Over the years, I've had a few different businesses, from the cleaning company, then I went over to photography, eventually landing into marketing about 5 to 6 years ago. And the reason I got into marketing was because it was one thing that I just was really good at. I was really good at doing it. Like in every single business that I had, I was quite good at this marketing stuff. And I realized other entrepreneurs were not necessarily as good in the marketing department. So I guess that is my journey. But I guess parts of my journey where I probably have skipped over a little bit could be times where things were not always great, when things were not always rosy, where there's times where I have procrastinated, where I've been really fearful, where my mindset hadn't always been in the right place, where I haven't been in like a super positive place where I could say, right, this is what I've got to do today and I'm going to execute. There's been times where I have not been able to muster up the energy even to sit at my computer, because of my fear of, I'm not sure what the fear was. Maybe it was fear of success, fear of failure, but there was some massive fear going on, which was then manifesting itself into procrastination, where I was just terrified of everything. And I just couldn't, I think for at least a year, I struggled to do anything. I'd have a blank diary, page after page of blank diaries, odd client in here, odd client in there, but it wasn't great and it was a bit of a struggle. But I started to work on my personal development. I started to read like a beast. Like, I started off with Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within, which is a bit of a classic for most personal development people. I read that. That really, really helped. And I just started to find book after book. I then started listening to audio books, hypnotherapy, started journaling, and got my mindset into a really, really, really positive place where I was able to just implement strategies to enable me to keep moving forward with my business. And I think that's a massive takeaway that anyone listening to this can do. Like, there's going to be times where you really struggle. There's going to be times where you can't do what you want to do, and you might not be sure why. But it's normally to do with your mindset. If your mindset isn't in a good place, you won't be able to move forward in your dreams. Your mindset can be like a handbrake on your dreams and your future. And when you can start to work on your mindset and stay in touch with your goals and your massive and your big aspirations, you can go forth and do, be and have whatever you want.
Yeah, and remind me again also, what difference are you making in the world?
What difference am I making? Okay, I'd say what difference I'm making in the world is with my clients that I work with. The reason why I started up the KickAss Entrepreneurs Club is because there was a point where I was a struggling entrepreneur, and I found it really hard to find affordable advice and support, and someone that was just in my corner, someone that could cheerlead me, and someone that I can turn to. I struggled with coaches and, I'd go to training, but there was not really a place where I could go to just get help and advice and support. So I've created what I wish I had as an entrepreneur. So the difference that I would say that I'm making is that the entrepreneurs that come and work with me at the KickAss Entrepreneurs Club, they don't have to be alone. They don't have to struggle. They don't have to be trying to find every answer in a blog, because, believe it or not, Google doesn't have all the answers. And I'm a place where they can come to and get affordable advice and support, so they don't have to be alone in their business. They don't have to be lacking confidence. I can really help them to move forward in their business. I do that through a number of ways. One of the ways that we do is through challenges. So I set fun challenges to move my clients forward, so they're not working alone, even though they are physically maybe alone in an office, but they've got that sort of community aspect to things online. And I'd say probably another way that I'm making a difference is I also teach young children how to become entrepreneurs. And I do that at Kids School Business School once a week within the community. But I teach business skills. We actually start businesses. We started a popcorn selling business called Popping Great. And it's a really practical way of just showing those entrepreneurial type children that there's another way. Employment isn't for everyone. And I'm not knocking it at all, but there's going to be some children out there that want a different route. And I feel like in schools that isn't taught too much. So it's just it's just showing options and giving the advice and support out there.
Yeah, not everyone always realises there's an alternative way. There's like another option out there, and that's why I want to change with this channel as well. There's people can do that. People can become remarkable. They can do their own thing. They don't need to be following the same path what everyone else has done.
No, you're right, and that can, sorry to jump in, but that can change in an instant. Like, it's just, I think, when you make a decision and then you choose to take action on that decision, your whole life can change, and you definitely can become remarkable.
Yeah, and you say that mindset also is important, because you get the wrong mindset, it's like a handbrake. And yeah, I never thought of it in that terms, in that way, like that analogy. And in 2014, like August, around August, roughly August, like 3 years ago, I was at this charity in Wolverhampton called Access to Business, A2B. Are you familiar with them?
No, I've not heard of them, to be honest.
Right, I don't know how big they are, but I was with them, and they had this 1 week's course, like 3 hours every day. And on one of the days, near the end, they showed us this chart of this fictitious company and its growth over the course of X amount of time, and looking at the money going up, or the graph going up and up. And I remember thinking to myself that I will never see that. And it's like, years ago, my mindset was completely wrong, out of whack. I'll never see that. This is months before I started my first proper business. And I also used to think to myself, as I started that business, every now and then I was thinking, I had two main handbrakes, so to speak, or certainly brakes that really slowed down the mindset or the success. And the first one was that, it's okay, I'm not allowed to make money, I'm not allowed to make profit, I'm not allowed to have a client, I'm not allowed to make sales, not allowed to do this, not allowed to. There's the excuse, that negative feedback loop. And that was further compounded with the other belief that was kind of supplementing it, which was, it's okay, I'm cursed anyway, I'm not allowed, I can't do it, I'm cursed. It's like, I couldn't justify, it was an almost negative feedback loop, and it was being fueled by, well, it's okay, it's something that I can't control. And then these beliefs just destroyed as you go from one thing to another, and just over time they disappear, and the mindset just changes by itself. And I find that the personal development stuff, like Tony Robbins, for example, and loads of other courses and books and people, I find that it's patchwork. You take the best from this person, best from that person, you bring it together, and you form your own identity, you form your own structure, you form your own philosophy, and that helps to be like the fuel, the foundation towards what you're doing, what you believe in, and how remarkable you are. But I find over time that personal development tends to get a bit repetitive, and then it's a case of, okay, I've heard this before, or something similar to this. Now I want to go from I can do this, or you can do it, yes you can. Then it's like, how? How do I do it? What's the strategy? What's the techniques? What's the tools? Things like that. That's the next stage that's important. And I think a lot of people do get caught up in the, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. Okay, you can. Why don't you go out and do it? I don't know how.
Exactly.
That's what you need next.
But then even after the how, it's then mastery, isn't it? About getting better and better and just refining the skills that you're learning and keeping things topped up. Because what I found, I kind of thought personal development was just going to solve all my problems in life, and then I'd sort out that whatever mindset issues and get over the whole procrastination and start taking loads of action, and then I'd find there was something else that I needed to work on. So it made me realize that my life or maybe my mind was like a jigsaw. So I'd get some pieces and I put the pieces in, and then that was sorted. And so that corner of the jigsaw is fine. But then you might move on to another area, which could be something like, for example, finances. So you start to work on that, and then that's another little piece of the jigsaw sorted. And then you might be not very organized, so you need to start then working on the organization. And it's just, there's always something else that you need to work on. And I guess which is why we should never stop learning, because there's always something new to learn, which is brilliant. I'm a lifelong learner. I love it. But the journey is never ending.
No, you never want to stop learning. And I remember like 10, 15 years ago, something like that, I was in Waterstones, which is the UK version of Barnes & Noble, and I saw a section called Personal Development, and I thought, that sounds so stupid. Who'd want that? Are you that pathetic, that weak in life? You need to learn how to be better. You need to learn how to improve your life and personal development. And I thought, what? No, thanks. But I now realise that, you always want to learn. Always argue against yourself. Always cut to the truth. If you think you're right, well, why are you right? And if you think you know everything, ask yourself, what am I missing? What don't I know? What am I overlooking? That kind of stuff. Always criticising. And,
definitely.
And speaking of always learning, you said that you had these young children in a business school, this popcorn selling business. How are the younger generation, the younger people, how are they finding entrepreneurship? What are their thoughts towards it?
Well, the young children that I work with, they are between age 8 and 11, and they are really excited about having their own businesses. And what I've noticed with the younger generation is that they think massively. They think so big. They're not like adults where we really place limits on ourselves and our skills and our capabilities, where these kids come along and they're full of enthusiasm and they want to do massive things. So they're actually quite open-minded. They are open to the idea. And as much as it might not be on the curriculum at school, these kids are very aware of entrepreneurialism, and they are aware of that life where if you work hard, you can get to where you want to be, and it doesn't have to be down that traditional school route, so to speak. But so they're quite. They're very good with it. They're great at marketing. They go out, they do their research. They're not afraid to talk to adults. They're great at designs. But I think it's just because the young mind is just so much more open to ideas.
Yeah, definitely. And when everyone talks about how when you're young, what do you want to do in life? What do you want to be? There's no limit. And then you grow up, and then okay, let's be more realistic now. Let's not be so adventurous. And that's one thing I think that that's the real glass ceiling, where people are limited by what they're taught and what they believe, and they're not becoming remarkable, essentially, not doing their own thing. And
But
also,
even that word that you just said, realistic, it's like when you say let's be realistic, that's almost like just giving yourself permission to play small.
oh yeah,
When you say, oh, let's be realistic about this, like, well, maybe it is realistic that you can become a millionaire if you do A, B, and C. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, definitely, and also it keeps their enthusiasm as well, and the curiosity, and these kind of things are not all adults, but it's lost as you grow up. That childlike curiosity, or figuring out and curious, and learning as well. That curiosity feeds the learning, and these things. I don't know if it's nature or nurture. That classic argument: are we born entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs made? That helps to feed who you are, and it helps to shift and helps to shape who you are in the future. And that I think helps with regards to always learning, always going in personal development, things like that.
Definitely. And
also, I'm just curious quickly. You said that at age 14, you had a recruitment business. How did that go?
Mm-hmm.
How did that work? You had one client. What happened there?
Yes, I put an advertisement in the newspaper. It was free to advertise in the newspaper, so I advertised. I put my home telephone number down, and I had a call from this local garage. They wanted a secretary, so I went over and I had a meeting with the owner. I didn't come to the conversation. Maybe he was a bit of a weird guy. I'm not too sure, but he was pretty professional. And we had a conversation, and my task was then to find him a secretary. So I never did find him the secretary, because I don't think I was that advanced in my thinking. I just thought I'll set this business up and I'll put my number out and I'll see what happens. But that was as far as that first business went.
Right, sounds interesting. And you said you started up the cleaning company in London. What was it called?
Mm-hmm.
Done and Dusted.
That was right.
What's the story behind that? How did that go?
Yeah, so that went really well. So the company that I was working for, when I took redundancy, they were a corporate accommodation company, and I worked in the property management department. And there was one day that the cleaning company that they used to use let them down, and the company asked if me and some of my friends, my colleagues at work, would we be interested in doing this clean, because they desperately needed cleaning, and they would pay us £100 each. And I was like, wow, I clean for free in my own house. I'll do some cleaning for £100. And this is like quite a few years ago. So it was decent for what was going to be an evening's bit of work. So we cleaned this house and we all got paid £100 each. And then I found out that, it paid so well, because this is what cleaners got. This is what cleaning companies got. They'd charge like about £400 to £500 to clean a house at the end of a tenancy. And I thought, wow, because I'd always seen cleaning as, quite a low paid job. And I mean, I guess it is for the workers, it isn't a high paid job, but if you're the company owner, it actually can be quite lucrative. So that planted a bit of a seed in my mind about this cleaning company. And when I got offered the redundancy, I went home and I done a brainstorm about all the different businesses that I could do. I looked at things that would be easy for me to start, that wouldn't take too much money, and the cleaning company was the top one for me to go and do. I started it in August of 2004, and by the January of 2005, I was fully booked out. My phone was ringing off the hook. I had 6 members of staff and I had properties all over London that we were cleaning. We were featured on How Clean Is Your House, which was quite a cool experience. And it was a really, really, really good, thriving business. It was that thriving. I'd find bundles of money in my room that I forgot that I had. It was that good. Like, that was good times. And, I stopped that just because when I was having my son, so I decided it was time for a change. But it was a brilliant business. But what was quite different to then was marketing then was really, really easy. I got all of that business, my phone ringing off the hook, from a simple advertisement placed in the Yellow Pages. Different times now. And sometimes I used to do leaflets. If things got a bit quiet, phone stopped ringing, I'd go out and I'd leaflet a street or two. Not very much. When now marketing is like a whole different ball game. In the last year of the cleaning business, I placed an ad and I didn't get much work out of it. But that's when times were changing and the internet was becoming more and more popular, where for people to go to find their cleaners. So so that was a brilliant business. It was great while it was there. I had 4 amazing years. It allowed me to live the life that I wanted to live. I could some mornings I would go pick up the cleaners, drop them off to a property, and I'd go back home and go to bed. And I'd pick them up about 7 or 8 hours later, check the properties, collect my money, and go back home again. So it was good times. It was definitely good times, and it allowed me to travel, and it was great. I loved it. But just when I had my son, I just thought, I wanted something different.
Oh, okay, interesting. And I think I remember that TV show, How Clean Is Your Home?
Mm-hmm.
That was the TV show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Where you went in really disgusting houses and transformed them.
Was it on Sky?
I think it was just on normal terrestrial TV. I think it might have been Channel 4.
Right, I'm not too sure, but I think I remember watching that years ago. I'm going to look that up now. I'm looking that up. Very, very curious now. 2005 odd. Okay, very curious. And he said these marketing skills. So, and back then it was easy, yellow pages and leaflets and all the rest. Nowadays, yellow pages is next to near, doesn't exist almost. It's all online, online directories. And even then, they try and ring you up just to get business listings, and they ask for a fee, and obviously they get a share of that, a split. And leafleting. Not as good as it used to be. 90% plus the leaflets, probably way more than that, are in the bin, and percentage of those are recycled straight away.
It's a 1% return rate that you get on leaflets. 1 to 3.
Yeah, the click-through rate equivalent will be something like that. So we say marketing skills. What kind of skills?
I guess the ability to communicate is going to be key, because content marketing is a massive part of marketing. So your content marketing, that's going to be things like what we're doing here. We'd be doing a podcast, or in the written form, it's going to be on your blog. It could be through Facebook Lives, or live videos on whatever other platforms that you use. And it's all about being able to show yourself as the expert in your industry, just to build up that know, like, and trust. People no longer really just go out. I mean, it depends on your service. I mean, if you're someone like an electrician or a plumber, yes, people will quite likely just to phone you and book you. But if you're in an online business or a service-based business, people need to get to know who you are and what you're about. And in order to do that, you need to be putting yourself out there as a brand and be able to communicate your message, your expertise, and your offering in a consistent manner. So marketing is just so different now, where I spend the majority of my day marketing, where before I spent half a morning once a year with a consultant from the Yellow Pages. Now, marketing is like, it's my life now. I'm working, I'm doing podcasts, getting blogs out, getting my emails out to my list, working on sales funnels, looking at Facebook ads, and that's just a tiny part of it. But marketing it's deep. There's a lot to it. Back in the day, you used to have business startup courses. They'd be better off just making it a marketing course, because people will come along with their ideas. They'll come along with they know how to set up the business. They're very basic, but marketing is such a massive part of it. And even if you've got the best business in the world, if you're not good at marketing, no one's ever going to hear about it. You hear about business owners complaining about somebody else in some competition that I don't understand why they're doing so well. They're not even really good. I'm so much better at them. But what it is, they're probably just really better at you than marketing. And because they're better at you at marketing, they're getting more business. But you've got your great business and you're not telling the world about who you are and what you do, because you feel a bit insecure. You feel a bit nervous about letting it out there. People get caught up in themselves, and you need to be able to get out of your own way and communicate and let the world know about your business, because you're actually probably going to help somebody anyway. Most businesses are going to be solving a problem. So it's all about communicating how you are going to be solving a problem for your customer. It might even be a problem that they are not even aware of. And marketing and communication in marketing will help you do that.
Yeah, I'm writing a book at the moment on marketing and content marketing, and the way I see it is, do you remember ADA, Attention, Interest, Desire, Action?
Mm-hmm.
I believe the letter before that should be a D, and that D is dialogue. meaning that there are customers out there, people that know and want your service, people that don't know they want your service, and people that know they will not want your service. So you can have a dialogue. These people that know and want your service, they're Googling for things. They're searching on YouTube for answers or reassurance or to destroy their doubt or information in general. And if you're not found, discovered online, Google or YouTube or wherever else, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, as one professional hockey player said. So if these people are searching for stuff like how to drive a car, you're a driving instructor, how to drive a car, how to change the gear, all these different Google searches, and there are trillions of searches a year. If your content isn't found, on the receiving end of that, on the other side of that, then that connection isn't formed, that relationship or that trust, that reputation is not formed, and that, they want to know how to drive a car or change the gear, and you teach them a video or a blog, whatever, instructions, and then there's a link at the end, or to subscribe or to go onto your bookings page to book 1 or 2 hours of learning or driving instruction with you, things like that. Everyone's got dialogues and questions, and they want answers, and they're searching for it. And if you're not out there on the other end providing your answers, then you're not going to get discovered. And I think the things we know, no matter what that subject may be, in this case it's marketing, break it down into loads of different segments and sections, and quantify it by different metrics, and then you can share it in the world, this intellectual property that people can then find, discover, and consume, and then they can know, like, and trust you.
Exactly. Totally agree.
Yeah, great. So what is it you're working on now, and what's next for you?
So I am focusing on KickAss Entrepreneurs Club, in growing that, making it better, improving it, and whilst also looking after the existing members. So that's going to be a massive focus for me, taking me up to the end of the year. I'm also working on a marketing planner, which is a bit of a sort of journal, to-do list sort of planner, which is because I feel like a lot of small businesses are not focused enough on their marketing. They're focused everywhere, and apart from serving your clients and looking after your clients, I do believe if you're not where you need to be, a lot of your day needs to be spent on marketing. So this marketing planner just helps you really to focus on the tasks that you need to complete today, but helps you also to check in with your goals, because by checking in with your goals, that will help you keep going when things are not as you want them to be. It gets you focused on leads to contact, what social media you're going to be putting out there. So that's something that I am in the planning stages. I mean, it's ready in a draft form, and it's just for it to be finalised and put to print, really. So that's something that I'm working on, but that probably won't be released until possibly next year. And then the other thing that I'll be working on next year is nationalising my networking group, which I run on a monthly basis, KickAss Women in Business, which is a networking group for women in business, does what it says on the tin. And I want that to go around the country, and I want there to be branches of that all over. And that's something that I am not working on now, but that's in my next file.
You want to essentially nationalise it once you've released the planner?
Yeah, so I'll be doing the plan. I'll be releasing the planner. The planner is separate to KickAss Women in Business. But once the planner is released at some point, then my next project would be to nationalise KickAss Women in Business.
All right. So this planner, is it like in the morning you want to do X amount of posts, or how is it structured? How does it help people plan out their strategy?
Okay, so one of the sections says your goals for today. So what are your goals for today? And then you've got today's marketing tasks, where you've got a few lists of your actual marketing tasks. We start off with the goals, because obviously you need to know where you're going for that day. So your goal for that day could be to secure one client or to work on your income generation, for example. And then you then fill out today's marketing tasks. So that could be something like to do a Facebook Live video, could be to send a message out to your email list, could be to interact in Facebook groups. So you're really focusing, rather than just a random to-do list which is going to contain everything in the world. These are just your marketing tasks. So it's ensuring that you actually do some marketing each day. Then there's a section for your social media posts, because it's good to pre-think out your social media posts and just to think about what am I actually putting out there today. And that's not a section that will need to be filled out every day, but because obviously some may be pre-scheduled, but it just gets you thinking. Same again for video content. And then there's another section which is leads to contact. So if you've got people who are interested in your services, it's just popping them down. Then the act of ticking them off it just makes it happen. If you got it in your head that, I met this person at networking and they were really interested, I should give them a call one day, but you never write it down and you never plan to do anything with it, it's easy that just never happens. But if you're writing it down on the planner, then you will get it done. And there's also a section where I just have a few affirmations. So it's a section that's called I am KickAss because, where you write out I am KickAss because I am, you might say organized, I am a marketing expert, I am abundant. Just a few affirmations just to plant the seed, and it may be something that you're not feeling at the moment. It might be I am fully booked. And just by saying that affirmation to yourself, it helps to bring it into reality rather than just keeping it as an idea that you would love to happen. If we plant these thoughts in our minds and then we take the action, then we can bring these things into reality. So that's my planner, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's amazing. Structure is very important, and keeping yourself accountable and writing things up so you're more likely to do it.
Definitely. And I've used planners in the variation for years, and I've got just normal journals. I've got like pre-printed journals that guide me, but none of them done exactly. When they were not marketing focused, they didn't do exactly what I needed them to do. So I thought I'd created this, and it's something that I've been using. I've given it out to a few other people to use, so just so that I could get the feedback. And it's good and it works. And I think it will help a lot of people.
Yeah, of course. The more problems you solve, the more you are rewarded, the more you are recognised, and that's what it's all about as well. Business is all about solving problems for people.
Definitely.
And speaking of solving of problems, you mentioned that your KickAss Talks group, you want to nationalise it. What does that do exactly? What is the problem that it solves?
It's KickAss Women in Business. So it's a networking group for women in business. What problem does that solve? It brings women together. So often when you're in business, it can be lonely. You may have people around you that don't get business, don't understand why you have this burning passion to risk everything and go and work for yourself. So KickAss Women in Business is a place for these women to come along, connect with each other, build relationships, and also do business with each other. So it's once a month, and each month I do a talk. So as the leader of the group, I'm the only person who ever talks at this particular event at KickAss Women in Business. And what that does for me is it positions me as an expert, and then I have people then come along who then want to work with me. So I will be looking for leaders of these groups all around the country, and the problem that they're solving for the attendees is that they get to network, they get to get more business, they get to build relationship contacts. But for the leaders, what the leaders will get, they will get a platform to position themselves as a leader. They will get a platform with content for them to deliver to their audience, which will make them become seen as that go-to person within their industry. Because when you organise the events, you are that person that everyone goes to. And so that's the problem it's solving.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So how are you planning on nationalising it?
Well, I've not gone into the finer details. I mean, but to be honest, it's going to be majorly done online through the use of Facebook ads and for a membership site, but I've not got into. It's still very much in the very beginning planning stages at the moment.
Yeah, that's all right. So as we begin to wrap up the podcast, what is next for you? Is it purely just these two projects? Anything else happening? Anything else worthwhile or anything cool?
No, actually, to be honest, I'm really sort of focusing on what I've got and what I'm working on at the moment. I love and I'm passionate about, and I haven't achieved all my goals with KickAss Entrepreneurs Club. And when the plan comes out, I want to be able to put my full weight behind that, and the same with nationalising KickAss Women in Business. So I've actually put myself on a bit of a ideas ban. So no new ideas are allowed to be worked on until I complete everything that I'm working on. So just so I can get tunnel visioned on what I'm doing. You know, as an entrepreneur, it's easy to get that shiny object syndrome where we're just like, oh, I'm going to try this now. Oh, this idea is great. So I'm just going to go, ideas will come. I can't stop that. I'm just going to be parking them and focusing on the projects that I'm working on at the moment. So what's next for me is focus, focus, focus.
Yeah, I agree. This is my big downfall I had in 2016. I was not focused at all, doing too many things all over the place that weren't really connected. And I realised at the start of 2017, and especially realised it certainly by June of 2017, how much I had to focus and just I just build a platform, build a presence really. What I'm doing now, this podcast, this channel, because an ideas ban. I like that. I like the sounds of that. Not quite sure about the banning bit, because if I get an idea, I write it down and I put it in a Word document for later reference, so I can.
Yeah, no, that's what I do. I do that. I don't ban the ideas from coming to my brain. I just ban myself from working on them. And so I put them on the Trello board, and I just park them there for future reference.
Exactly. Just for later references, salvage them, reverse engineer, whatever, or apply that principle elsewhere. Yeah.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Some may never. Yeah, exactly. Some may never happen, but I do write them down, but I'm just not working on them.
And I find that with shiny object syndrome, the way to prevent that or to curb against it or a contingency is to have a higher standard in what you're working on and what you're doing. Like when I work on things, I always think, how can I do the work once and get paid forever? And how can I be lazy but ambitious?
I love that.
Yeah, do the work once, get paid forever, meaning what can I create once, a blog or a video, and put it out in the world, share it, and do the correct SEO kind of preparation so people can always find it a year from now, and with a link to X, Y, and Z, or or an option to subscribe, and that helps elsewhere. So how can I get paid forever in one way or another, directly or indirectly? So if I write a book and I promote it, it's on Amazon, it's going to get sold consistently for as long as Amazon essentially is around, or put something on Udemy or put something on YouTube, it's going to get discovered and found, and you're going to get profited, you're going to profit in one way or another. So how can I do the work once and get paid forever? So I'm thinking, here's an idea, but then certain tick boxes. And then I'm also thinking, how can I be lazy but ambitious? Meaning, if I want to achieve X, Y, and Z, what's the minimum amount of energy required to achieve X, Y, and Z? I don't need to go 10% above, I don't need to go 10% below, but what's the minimum required to achieve just these things? Not A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, just X, Y, and Z. So I'm lazy, but ambitious. I'm ambitious, but I'm trying to find the most leveraged, the most shortcut, the most quickest, easiest, fastest, dirtiest way to achieve precisely X, Y, and Z. And then, of course, if you want to do A, B, and C as well, then it's like, what's the minimum amount of energy required to achieve just that? So, for example, getting this channel and this podcast off the ground, in the beginning, I accumulated this channel. I originally started in 2008, and so from 2008 until June of this year, I accumulated 423 subscribers. So essentially, for the first month or so, my problem was, people, please unsubscribe from this channel because I'm uploading stuff. YouTube is sharing it with the subscribers. They're not watching it. They're not consuming it. YouTube's thinking, oh, even the subscribers don't like it, so no one likes it. So they drop it and put it in the search filters and the search results and all the rest, and it goes into the dark corners of YouTube. No one cares then. But so I have to keep producing content in order to get rid of these subscribers, so I can then start to get more subscribers. So I'm being lazy, as in to build a presence. So I'm doing 1 to 2 videos a day in order to build that presence and to grow it. And exponential, but these things happen. These things take time.
They do, definitely.
Yeah. So, what is the best way for the audience to get in touch with you, Paula?
I am all over social media under Paula Hemmings, but then you can also check out kaentrepreneurs.co.uk. I'm assuming that you're going to have some lovely show notes with a link to that. But yeah, so Paula Hemmings on everything. KickAss Entrepreneurs on Facebook. There's a Facebook group. There's a Facebook page. There's KickAss Talks Facebook page and a Facebook group. Just type Paula Hemmings into social media and I will pop up with a big cheesy smile.
kaentrepreneurs.co.uk.
Yes.
Yeah, and exactly. I'll have those in the links below in the description.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, that'd be great. Lovely. But yeah, I'll be happy. Oh, I'm on Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, I'm literally on all of them. So yeah, I'll be there, and I'm happy to say hello to anyone who fancies saying hi to me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it'll be. I'll add those in. But Paula, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
You are definitely welcome. Thank you for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen at home, if you haven't already, click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads, because this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So go out there today and do something remarkable with your life. How cool is that?